2019 Hometown Rising with Bret Michaels is here today. How you been, man?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thank you for having me on. Excited to be here today. Beautiful day.
I was just looking at the music video for your song Unbroken, over 1 million views.
Right.
I gotta imagine you're getting some great stories from fans who are inspired by that song.
Absolutely. Here's what it is for me. When I wrote the song Unbroken with my youngest daughter, Jorja Blue. And she's an amazing songwriter, 14 years old, going through some tough things in her life, and just adjusting to life. And I call it growing pains, right? We all go through them. And for me, being a lifelong type 1 diabetic, I still do the 5 injections a day. And I just always stay in the fight. So I said, let's take this tough stuff we're going through, be stronger than our storm, face the adversity. And we just put the song out, and people just really kind of came around the song because of tough stuff that everyone's going through in their life. And I said, you got to find a positive way to just keep going.
You have so many rock artists on country albums nowadays. Zach Wilde just did a song with an artist named Hardy.
Right.
Dave Grohl's worked with Zach Brown. You, of course, now working with Zach Brown. Could that have happened 30 years ago?
I want to believe it could have.
Really?
For me, you go back through my catalog of music and you look, we had Rascal Flatts on the record. They were singing on Every Rose. Then all of a sudden I'm riding my dirt bike down at Loretta Lynn's a couple years ago at her big motocross track. And we went there for Thanksgiving. Next thing you know, I have Joe Perry's playing guitar on Every Rose and Loretta's singing some harmonies. I think for us, I know it seems crazy, but
it seems great.
For me, it's great. That's what I'm saying. I love it. And, and that includes pop artists, country artists, rock artists. I think when we're growing up and I'm playing music, I came from a time when you could listen to, for me, I'm listening to Leonard Skinner, right? And then all of a sudden I'm hearing my dad playing some Loretta Lynn, so I love that. Then all of a sudden I turn around and I'm listening to Rush 2112, and so I think, Garth Brooks was a big innovator of breaking down that rock and country barrier.
No doubt. No doubt about it. I got to explore this a little bit. The Bret Michaels-Loretta Lynn relationship is one of the more interesting things to me.
For sure.
You guys cut a version of Every Rose Has Its Thorn 7 years ago, and have remained pretty close, good friends since a little bit. Last time you chatted with her or kind of caught up with Loretta?
Just a couple days ago. And I'll say this, Crystal, it's also one of her best friends, and we're all great friends. And what we were talking about, and I say this as a celebration today of my dad's life. My dad's a veteran and loves this country, loves great country and rock music, and my dad had just passed recently. And so we were talking on the phone about that. And she's an amazing human being.
Do you have a favorite Loretta Lynn story?
I do. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. When we went down there for Thanksgiving, she was so inviting. And we had met several times before that, but she invited her whole band and crew. We were on the road. I got my dirt bike out. I said, do you mind? I know the track is a little beat up right now this time of year, but it was a beautiful fall day. And she was so gracious to everybody in my band and crew as we were thankful to be there. And so probably my favorite story is when she came in the studio and just sang with us. She's like me. As much as we want to put on a great show for fans, it was really beautiful because it was stripped down, just a few of us in the studio, late on a fall night. It was an incredible feeling. That was my best story. It was just she's a good human being, and it superseded any kind of industry stuff. It just was a good friendship.
Bret Michaels at Hometown Rising. Who in country music knows how to party, or maybe could have kept up with?
I got to tell you, and I've done a couple shows with him. Toby Keith knows how to party. I went out with him, me, Tanya Tucker, right? And I'm going to say this, we went out and we ripped it up. And then I threw a big, after one of the big festivals y'all had, we went to across the street, and I said, this is a fan fest, and I know people are going to all these industry parties. I said, why don't we throw a party in the streets for the fans? So we went to the stage and Tootsie's, and we burned it down until I needed to get insulin. It was about 5 in the morning. And finally, the police were like, we had Joe Nichols, everybody. Toby was up on stage with us. Kenny Chesney.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
You know who says they can party? And I need some anecdotal evidence. The women from Little Big Town say they can
party.
They say they can outdrink Luke and everybody under the table. They're so slight. I don't believe it.
I think that they're not lying. I got to be honest with you. I think that they're telling the truth. And I got to tell you, and Luke knows how to party. I'm just saying, Luke knows how to party. And Jake, I was there to see Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw a few years back. and we went out and did Every Rose together at the stadium. And if anyone checks out the YouTube video, the entire audience is singing, and we even stopped playing the guitar and we just did it a cappella. But Jake threw down then. He was I had a good day. I'm just going to say this. It's a little blurry that day, but that means I was having a good time.
Tell me what's next musically from you, either as a solo artist or maybe if Poison's working on
here's what's going on for me as a solo artist. Always working on new music. I'm working on a song called Back in the Day right now. It's a really good song, and I'm hoping that's the one. We're going to start from scratch, but I just started kind of playing some stuff, and I'm hoping that's the one Zach and I get to do together.
Cool.
And he wants to produce, and he's a really solid. When I say solid, he's a good human being, and like me, he's kind of independently owned and operated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then for Poison, back on the road next year, we'll be at all the amphitheaters and stadiums, and it's going to be great.